गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरु साक्षात् परं ब्रह्मा तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री Gurave Namaha. So we are in 19th Jnaneshwari Bhavartha Deepika chapter 18 verse number 19 OV number 516 and here we were looking at what is the six factors were given that were the knowledge, the object of knowledge and the knower, and the other was the agent, the action and the deed. And here it was told that these three, one was the general, the knower, knowing and knowledge was general. Just as the example we took was, you know when you nod and say that the waking dream experience happen every day, that the past happened, all that, and that is a general knowing. Like I know in general everything that is in this room. Then I focus specifically on something. So same way, when we know everything in general, that is the knower known knowing, and when we become the karta, when we become the agent only appears when we consider that we are only this mind. Mind is not one per person. This verse, if you think it in a different way, excuse me, the mind is not one per person. What is mind? Mind is the general principle. Just like space is common to all the houses, to all the countries, to all the solar systems, to all the galaxies, is the same space. Exactly. Mind is the common principle, the energy, the consciousness, the chetana, for all beings is the same. Just like everyone says I. Nobody says I am not. Everyone says I only. Similarly, everyone says I am thinking with my mind. Which mind? That is the same mind. You are just like electricity is common to all the gadgets. But when it expresses through each, it's unique, isn't it? Its specific function. Exactly the same way. When because there I was, in general, I was the knower, Jnata. But now when I consider myself to be only this mind, then I become the karta. This mind meaning this body also. Then I become the karta, the doer. So at individual level there is this triad, and at the totality level there is one triad. The totality level triad is knower, knowing, knower, known and knowing, and the individuality level, it is the agent, the action and the instruments with which the action is performed. Okay, so these six were given in the verse number 18, and now there it was told, just to go back a little bit, Thus I have explained to you from 511th OV. Thus I have explained to you the characteristics of action, agent and the instrument. Here the knower, the knowledge and the object of knowledge constitute the threefold impulse to action. If any one of them is not there, action cannot take place. Now, this is only for explanation purpose. Huh? Don't take it to be reality. Anything happening at the individual mind or the total mind is not, and you are attached to it. If you become the agent, it is not the reality. Reality can only be one. If you want to call it reality, then make sure you add to it relative reality. What is relative reality? Which is continuously changing. Then what is that reality which we are seeking, which is moksha? Moksha is not going to total mind. If you go to total mind, for someone it may be bhur, someone bhuvaha, suvaha, janaha, maha, tapaha, satyam. These 7 lokas are there. Each one is greater than the other. You know, the 7 chakras, each one is greater than the other, and you come back again into the human birth. So there is no liberation there. So liberation is only possible when you come to that constant principle, and that constant principle is the truth, the reality, the self. Here it is the self, at totality it is called the Brahman. Just because it has got 2 names, it does not become 2. Just because you have 2 names, husband and brother, you don't become 2, you are still 1. Just there are different addresses, space doesn't become many, it's still the one space. Exactly the same way, the reality continues to be the same, even though the mind is as if creating differences within it by way of triad. See, by way of triad. Why it is happening? It's happening out of delusion. In our case, it is happening because of delusion. We have not recognized who we are, therefore we are considering we are only this. Now, either you go directly to the self and be the self by dissolving the whole, or recognize that the interim step is the migration from individuality to totality. Migrate there. See? And that is a very healthy condition, where it is not specific knowing, it is general. It is general knowing. Just like you know, even on this earth, you know, general knowledge is what? It is the same electricity which is functioning through all the gadgets. It's the same space which is on this, everyone is, which is accommodating everyone. It is the same air which everyone is breathing. Isn't it? The light, even though it is seen in different bulbs, but the principle of light is common all over the earth, right? Gravity is common. So is your attention on the common principle? If it is, then you are on the knower, you are the totality level, knower, and knowing, jnata, jnanam and neya. But when we come to, if you come to that point, you are not bound. When you come to totality, you are not bound. But when you come to individuality, you become the doer. Doer has the problem. He expects a result. He expects the result. He wants to achieve something. Knower is just there. It's a general principle which is taking place. The waking world and waking experience is a general experience. Within that general experience, you become the seer, hearer, toucher, feeler, taster, thinker, rememberer, sufferer, enjoyer. So many, every moment you are taking some role. But what is the common denominator for all the waking experiences of karta, karya? It's the waker, waking world and waking experience. Within that, all these various roles are being played, isn't it? Same thing in dream also. So understand this principle. You have to accept it directly, that I am that, who is not stuck with one. Our attention is on the general principle. Live that way, it will be beneficial. Then nothing in this world will trouble you, nothing in this world will excite you, nothing in this world will bind you. Why? Because you are in the general principle. If you consider yourself to the mind, then consider yourself to be the mind which is supporting the entire. This mind is saying what? This mind is saying what? I am only this body. Total mind will say what? All bodies are in me. I am all the bodies. So there will be no desire then. The Lord has got no desire. That's also healthy. If you don't want to liberate, it's okay. You want some form, you want to, it's okay. Get to that point at least. Then we will talk about transcending that also. But understand, at the phenomenal level, there is micro and macro. Phenomenal level. Phenomenal level is only at the mental level, mind level. So there is a micro mind and there is a total mind. Micro mind is the individual mind. Macro mind is the Jnata, Jnaya, that triad. In the individual mind, Karta, Karma and the Karana. So if that is clear, we will continue. Here the knower, the knowledge and the object of knowledge constitute the threefold impulse to action, into action. Similarly, the agent, the instruments and the action are the three constituents of action. Without if any one of them is missing, action cannot take place. You necessarily need the three in order for action to take place. Just as smoke is latent in fire, the tree is latent in seed, or passion is latent in the mind, or gold is latent in the mine, gold mine, so the triad of doer, the deed and the instrument form the very essence of action. Again, at the individual level, this is the general principle. That actor, agent, what role does he take as? That agent at the individual level, individual mind level, that agent will become the seer, or he'll become the hearer, or he'll become the toucher or thinker or experiencer. These are the various roles that he's taking. But what is the general principle again at individual level? Actor, the agent, action and instruments of action. This is the general principle. Always come to the general principle. Majority of us are lost in specificity. Always try to come to the general principle. Drop the specificity, come to the unspecific. Or come to the total, at least. And then when you come to the next, then you transcend that also. Then you transcend that also. So just like example, the world is there. How do you experience the world? Through the senses. Who knows the senses? Oh, the mind knows the senses. Who knows the mind? Oh, intellect knows the mind. Who knows the intellect? The life knows the intellect. Who knows the life? Oh, it is the reflection of the infinite. So come back to the principle, or the ultimate one. So always keep evolving, keep going back towards the source. Keep going back towards the source. Why did I not say go back towards the cause? If you go towards the cause, you will reach up in Jnata, Jnaya, Jnaya. That will be the total mind. Total mind is the cause of all the individual minds. Isn't it your experience in dream? Your one mind is the cause of all the minds in the dream. Exactly the same way. Exactly the same is happening in the waking also. But you need to take a green tea and sit down. Then you will realize it. We are too specific too, but too impatient. We are too impatient. We don't have the perseverance. We don't have the patience. Like Shirdi Sai Baba says, Shraddha Saburi. Saburi chahiye. Saburi means patience. one and Shraddha, faith, and the other side is patience, because you are looking at something which is not an object which you can grasp with your senses. It is not an object which you can grasp by your mind. It's a general principle. You see. So therefore, when there arises the egoistic notion, this is the action and I am its agent, then the self stands aloof from all such actions. If you understand this verse number 18, and you cannot stop this. But this is another point I should tell you. You cannot stop the total general knowledge, jnata, jnaya and jnanam, and you cannot stop the karta, karma and karana, meaning the doer, deed and the instrumental. You cannot stop it from happening. You cannot stop it from happening, because that's the phenomena which is taking place. Yesterday also it took place, day before yesterday also took place, but there was someone who was untouched by the waker waking and the waking experience, who was untouched by the dreamer world and the dream experience, and who was untouched by the sleep experience also. Therefore, when we ask this question, have you experienced the three from childhood till now, you say yes. Who is saying yes? It is that fellow who is untouched by these triads. That is your true position. So don't take the position which is crystallized as the agent or which is crystallized as the knower. Stand apart. Stand apart. So masters are seen eating, drinking, asking, I want this to eat, I want that to eat, but they are not identified with it. They are not identified with it. You cannot understand what I am saying. I am just making a statement which you have no experience of. And yet, you are in exactly the same disposition 24/7, 365 days a year, all the time. But you don't know it. Whole sadhana, the whole spiritual journey is to reduce the cacophony in our mind, quieten it. Wrong understanding can only be fixed with right understanding. So what are we doing when we are studying Jnaneshwari? We are reformatting ourselves. Last time, this is how I was telling you. We are reformatting ourselves. We are revisiting who we are. So when I am talking about jnata, jnaya and jnanam, or we are talking about karma, karta, karma and the karana, don't get lost in it. Those are phenomenal. They are going to happen anyway. Can you, many times if you are sitting in the car and you are driving somewhere and you are listening to the lecture, I think I was giving this example last week, and someone reaches their destination. Can you reach the destination without the driver being there? No. But do you remember driving? No. There you are. So it happened, no? Exactly the same way. Therefore, when there arises the egoistic notion, this is the action and I am the agent. Even while that is taking place, if the mind is saying, the agent is saying, I am speaking, but even while they is speaking, there is someone standing at the back who knows that this is going on, who is the sakshi, who is the witness, who is untouched by what the phenomenal, the specific that is going on. The activity is at the energy level. The witness is not a part of energy. He is the infinite one. While he is the witness, he is part of the program. But in essence, he is the untouched one. So he is practicing not getting touched by being a witness. But he is still seeing the multiplicity when he is a witness. That multiplicity will not dissolve until unless he does not become available to himself. This is the talk number 5. You listen to it. Thrilling. Of Swamiji's Yoga Vasishta. Last 2 talks are just absolutely wonderful, number 4 and 5. Actually listen from 3, 4, 5. Why 3, 4, 5? Listen all of them. But chapter 15, listen to chapter 15. Uddalaka story. Therefore, O talented, in the 516th verse, he says, या लागी पुढत पुढती आत्मा वेगळाची सुमती आता असो हे किती जाणतासी तू. He says, where are we? Therefore, O talented Arjuna, do I need to tell you more that the self is distinct from the actions? You know it already. He is invoking the knowledge in him. You know it already. Now we come to the 19th verse. Jnanam karma cha karta cha, jnanam karma cha karta cha, tridhaiva guna bhedataha, tridhaiva guna bhedataha, prochyate guna sankhyaane, prochyate guna sankhyaane, yathavat shrunutanyaphi, yathavat shrunutanyaphi. Together, jnanam karma cha karta cha, tridhaiva guna bhedataha, prochyate guna sankhyaane, yathavat shrunutanyaphi. He says knowledge, jnanam, karma, action, agent, karta, cha, and are threefold, tridhaiva, threefold, and guna bhedataha, and they seem to be different based on the gunas. Gunas are sattva, rajas, tamas. These are the 3 modalities, moods based upon which these 3 seem to be separate. Just as one water appears as many waves, in each wave there is a waver, the waved, and the waving. If I can use that example. Okay. So, what is consciousness? What is mind? In essence, mind is nothing but consciousness. Then why we call it mind? Consciousness with thoughts is called mind. Consciousness with the corruption of thought, identified with thoughts, with the expression of thought, whichever way you put it, is called mind. Man identified with woman is called boyfriend. Husband comes later on. First boyfriend or girlfriend. But so same man is called by another name, boyfriend or husband or whatever. Same way, same pure consciousness, same reality, with reference to thoughts is called mind. Mind without the reference of thoughts is conscious, is reality, pure consciousness. So, in other words, that reality itself is pervading the thoughts also. Just like water is pervading the various waves, if there were the first 3 waves that appeared on the total waters, then water was pervading those 3 waves. Similarly, reality, the pure consciousness alone is pervading the triad. the triad. This cannot be worked out. I'm giving you example of water, I'm giving you example of gold, etc. But this vision transformation has to happen within us. That you are that self, you are that reality which is alone expressing as the mind also. This is Ishvara Advayavad, which Kashmiri Shaivism, which Jnaneshwar Maharaj follows. Adi Shankara also comes to the same conclusion, but first he says, first withdraw from the world and then rediscover it to be none other than the self. That's the second part, Anvaya. Neti Neti Anvaya. In Kashmiri Shaivism, straight away we begin with why create another step when you can start from the inclusivity only, from the oneness only. All you have to do is understand correctly. Anyway, so distinct in based on the distinction of quality, which is the three guna bhedataha. Procyate guna sankhyane yathavat shrunutanyaphi. Here also, yathavat shrunu means to hear. So, Lord Krishna is telling, Bhagwan is telling to Arjuna, here also about these as stated in the Sankhya, Procyate Guna Sankhyane, in Sankhya Yoga. Sankhya Yoga was given by Kapila Muni, and Sankhya Yoga talks about Vedanta accepts Sankhya Yoga to a limit. It doesn't accept the conclusion of the Sankhya Yoga. And what is Sankhya Yoga? Sankhya Yoga says that there is Purusha and there is Prakriti. There is the conscious principle and there is the matter principle. And matter and you have to come to recognize the conscious principle. And this is what the yoga also follows. They follow the Sankhya Yoga. They drop everything, they come to recognize, and then when someone else comes and touches their face, hey, don't touch, my energy will go away. Why? I am realized, I have come to know I am consciousness, you are all fools, you don't know who you are, don't touch me, you will pull me down also. We don't want that. We don't want that. Vedanta doesn't accept that. Vedanta's basic premise is everyone is already the consciousness, they just don't know it. And consciousness is not one per person. Consciousness is the substratum. It is the material cause and the efficient cause. There is nothing else. We are using this efficient and material only for explanation's sake. But the only thing that is the reality, the pure consciousness. So we accept Sankhya. It's easy. He has worked it out. He has charted it out that there are 5 bodies, there are 5 breaths, there is 5 elements, there is Antakaran, mind, intellect, memory, ego. All this is numbers, isn't it? There are 3 gunas, there is totality, individuality. All this he has already worked out. So we accept all that because it helps us when we studied Vivek Chudamani, we went through all this. But did we stop at the conscious principle? No. We went further. We went up to, came to recognize that this consciousness is in, its true nature is Brahman. Brahmatmaikya Bodha. In Sankhya Shastra, there is no Brahmatmaikya Bodha. There is only Atma Bodha. Atma Bodha, I am the self. Who is the self? Who is untouched by the Prakriti. That's it. So that is not the goal of Vedanta. So here when he says Procyate guna sankhyane yathavat shrunutanyapi, stated in the doctrine of the Sankhya Yoga, now he says Parisangitale je jnana karma kartahana te tinhi tihi thai bhinna गुणी आहाती म्हणवनी ज्ञाना कर्मा कर्तया पाते जो नये धनंजया जे दोन्ही बांधती सोडावया एकची प्रौढ ते सात्विक ठाऊए होय तो गुणभेदू सांगो पाहे जो सांख्यशास्त्री आहे उभाईला जे विचार क्षीर समुद्र स्वबोध कुमुदिनी चंद्र ज्ञान डोळसा नरेंद्र शास्त्रांचा जे. This is now knowledge, action and agent. What are that? Karta, karma and karana. Which I told you about are of three kinds depending upon the three qualities, and that we have already spoken of. Do not place your faith in them. Oh, straight away one kick on your backside. What do you mean by backside? Because many people carry their brain in their backside. That's why the kick on the backside. Why? What do you mean by backside? Are you insulting us? When you keep your sense of reality in specificity, that specificity is the grossest. That is your backside. That is the dirt. That is the dirt. That's the filth. It is not worth getting attached to. But we are attached to all the specificity. My son, my daughter, my child, my husband, my house, my body. And it goes on. There is no end to this Maya. So here Bhagwan is telling, now what are the three gunas? We all know it is Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. Based on that, what are our experiences on a daily basis? The waking experience is the Sattvic one, the dream is the Rajasic one, and sleep is the Tamasic one. He says, don't put your faith in them. And what are we doing? We have not, we accept. But I don't put faith in two, but in one I have got more faith, which is Sattvic. I am Sattvic. So where I have put my faith? In the waking. And I am pulling it every day, making it, and I am stretching it. till it breaks, and one day it will break. One day it will break. Either by choice or choiceless. Choiceless will be death. By choice will be realization. See? So here Jnaneshwar Maharaj, being the great master that he is, he's called Mauli. Mauli, I told you, mother. He's got immense compassion, love, concern for all the children, and therefore he is giving them this instruction: do not get lost in the waking or the dream or the deep sleep or the samadhi also. Don't get lost in these. They are only coming and going. So here he says, do not, where does he say? जे दोन्ही बांधती सोडावया एकची प्रौढ. He says, ते तीनही तिही ठाई भिन्न गुणी आहाती. These three seem to be separate, but actually they are one. But don't put your do not place your faith in them, O Arjuna, because two of these qualities lead to bondage. What are these two qualities which lead to bondage? Rajas and Tamas. Someone's house I went. In the room, the moment you enter, outside there was a plaque, or they have written beautifully, they have painted it, dare to dream, dreams come true. Which world are you living in? Dream world. It is necessary in the beginning. I'm not saying to a teenage, to a youth, you have to give him that carrot so that he becomes excited, he becomes hardworking, he has a vision, he invokes his potential to pursue something, and then you can change the goalpost for him. It's not necessary. But we now, beard is white, hair is white. Now we don't need a carrot. That's why we went after many carrots, and we found eventually they come out as fecal matter. And now we want something which we can never lose. Somewhere in our life we must have, the God's grace has come upon us, and we have become available to that and pursuing that. So he says, "O Arjuna, because these two qualities lead to bondage, while only the quality of sattva is conducive to liberation." Oh, so I am already in sattva, I am in the waking state. It's conducive. No, in sattva, are you extrovert or in waking state? Are you extrovert or are you introvert? That is all. There are so many other, what do you call, attachments we have created within the sattva. Some people say sattvic means putting the various marks on their body. Some people may think sattvic means wearing a certain type of hat. Some people say sattvic means growing a beard. Some people think sattvic means giving lectures, talking about scriptures. Yes, all this is sattvic. But what is conducive to liberation? Is all these paraphernalia which I just talked, is talking going to take you to liberation? No. Is listening going to take you to liberation? No. Why? You said no. Why? You agreed with me. Why?
Because you are already that.
He said it. Because you are already that. You are already that what you are seeking. So, Maharaj aa gaye. You are already that which you are seeking. Therefore, here he says, the is conducive to liberation. Then he says, as regards the quality of sattva, which is described in detail in the Sankhya texts, I shall explain to you its distinctive features so that you will easily understand it. So this particular verse is about sattva. Next one will be the rajasic. The third will be, I think it will be that way. Anyway, we'll see whatever it is. Maybe it is the overview. Understand it. This Sankhya philosophy is the sea of right thoughts. But it is only at the level of thoughts. It is the sea of right thoughts. Discrimination. Between what? Purusha and Prakriti. Purusha, the conscious principle, Prakriti, the inert matter. So, what is inert? What is the definition of inert? What is the definition of inert?
That's ever changing.
That which is always or ever changing is inert. That which is finite is inert. That which is conditioned by space, time and objectivity is inert. That which is ephemeral is inert. That which appears to be continuous but is discontinuous because it's changing all the time is inert. See?
Why is it? Why is it said to be inert?
Wrong question. No, why? You can call it anything. In another language, it may, in Sanskrit, it will be called some jada. Then you will say why it is called jada. Why self is called a self. If you want to come to answer that, then you listen to the Sunday morning class, where we are denying that the truth can be called Satchidananda also. Jnaneshwar Maharaj is doing that. So no words can stick to the truth. So when we are away from the truth, when truth as if appears as two, then he is called as Ishwar and Prakriti. He is called consciousness and matter. Appearance, no? The moment appearance come, then you have to give some name. When there is only one, you don't need to say anything.
Okay.
See? This Sankhya philosophy is the sea of right thoughts, the moon which makes the lotus plant in the form of self-knowledge bloom, and the best among the metaphysical sciences in the view of those who have the vision of knowledge. And who was he? Who had given this to us? Kapila Muni. When did he give it? Before Patanjali. Before Patanjali. Patanjali then formulated it in the form of Patanjali Yoga Sutras, which was about, they say, it was about 27,000 years ago. But the thinking there, the basis of Patanjali Yoga Sutras is the Purusha Prakriti, which is the Sankhya Yoga. Continuing. किम प्रकृति पुरुष दोनी मिसळली दिवो रजनी तिये निवडिता त्रिभुवनी मार्तडू जेथ अपारा मोहराशी तत्वाच्या मापी 24 उगाणा घेऊनी परेशी सुरवाडीजे अर्जुना ते सांख्यशास्त्र पढे जयाचे स्तोत्र ते गुणभेद चरित्र ऐसे आहे जे आपुलेनी आंगिके त्रिविधपणाचे नि अंके दृश्य जात तितुके अंकित केले एवं सत्वरजतमा तिहीची एवढी असे महिमा जे त्रैविध्य आदि ब्रह्मा अधिकुकृमी. See, Sankhya means counting. Sankhya is counting. Sankhya is coming from Sankhya comes Sankhya. So what is one? Is counting. So what is one? What is one?
Purusha.
If you say Purusha, then there is Prakriti also. Who is one?
Brahman.
Ekameva Dvitiya. That is the Brahman. One without a second. So that one. What is that one? Oh, either you take it as the self or you take it as the Brahman. You are using two words, self and Brahman, but actually it is one. That one. What is two? We are counting now, learning to count. What is two? Okay, Purusha and Prakriti. What is?
Another than self. Self and other than self. Which is
Okay, but put another way. Purusha Prakriti is one. Another way,
Shiva Shakti.
Shiva Shakti. But again, we'll take that later. Something else from Kashmiri Shaivism point of view. Shiva Shakti. Yeah.
Adam idam.
Aham idam. Okay, two Aham idam. Two Ishvara Prakriti or Ishwar Maya. Two, as he said, what did you say? Purusha Prakriti. Or consciousness matter is two. What is three?
Brahma,
Good.
Vishnu, Maheshwara.
Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara. He said Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. Anyone else? Quick, brainstorming.
Triputi.
Triputi, the karta, the karma and the karana. or the knower, the known and the knowing. Okay, that is Triputi. What else is 3?
Past, present, future.
Past, present, future is 3. What else?
Waking, dream, and
Waking, dream and sleep. Fantastic. What else?
3 gunas.
3 gunas already done. This should be on your fingertips. The gross body, subtle body, causal body.
Tamasic, Rajasic and Sattvic.
तुमने ही पहले गुण बोला, अभी फिर सात्विक राजसिक तामसिक. मेरे को बेवकूफ बना रहे हो क्या? What else? Okay, now come to 4. What is 4? Huh? He says 4 directions. Directions are 8. Actually 10.
4 Vedas.
4 Vedas. Okay, continue.
Mano, buddhi, chitta, ahankar.
Very good. Mana, buddhi, chitta, ahankar. Anything else you can think of? 4 heads of Brahma. Which is Mana, buddhi, chitta, ahankar. Okay. What? First you said 3 was waking, dream, deep sleep. What is 4? Waking, dream, deep sleep and samadhi. What is 4? Vaikhari, Madhyama, Pashyanti, Para. 4 हो गया ना? Come to 5. What is 5?
Panchabhuta.
Panch Mahabhuta, Panchendriyas, Panch Karmendriyas, Panch Jnanendriyas, Panch Pranas. What is 6? Shad gunas. Tell me which are they? Shad gunas I have not heard. Shad ripu is there. Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. These are the 6.
That's not his Shadguna, Swamiji.
That's not guna. They are avaguna. That's not guna. These are expressions of ignorance. They cannot be guna. What you said Shad ripu, isn't it? First. So what is Shad ripu? Shad means 6. 6. What are the 6? Heat and cold at the body level, at the prana level, hunger and thirst, and at the mind level, likes and dislikes or sukha dukkha. These are the Shad ripu. 7. Okay, she said 7 chakras.
The locus.
7 lokas. Anyone? Anything else?
Sapta samudras. Sapta samudra.
Sapta samudra, Sapta swara,
Saptarishi.
Sapta rishi. Very good. Also, Sapta is also the 5 senses, the organs of knowledge, 5 senses, mind and intellect. This is the 7. 5, 6, 7. 7 ho gaya. And this way you can go on, keep going. It's for, and there is a textbook which I saw in the library when I was studying. I don't know, I should have taken photograph of all the pages. Very interesting. But you understand now what Sankhya is, where you can, with the numbers, immediately you can create the equation. You know, 3 means tak 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 tak, brainstorm ho gaya. So you don't have to keep thinking, Sattva and Rajas, and what comes the third one? I don't know. No, Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. What is for? Sattva, Rajas, Tamas and beyond. So same like that, this is the counting system where the entire experience, the entire life has been divided into the various parts for easy reference, so that you can work out. Once you know what it is made up of, then you can do something with that data, isn't it? Then you can say, okay, I choose not to be this, or this is not worth pursuing, or whatever. And so with that we enter into 521st OV. It is verily the sun who distinguishes between the Prakriti and Purusha, which are mixed like day and night. In this science, So it is verily the sun. Why the sun? At night nobody can see each other's form. There is no light, pitch darkness. Then what do you do? Between a man and woman, how do you need light to see the differences, na? Anywhere. I'm not saying here you can take at the physical day level, sun makes you aware of the differences. If I put this light off, I don't know which way to go. Same way, the light of the eyes illuminate the differences. The light of the mind illuminate the different senses. The light of consciousness, the divine light, illuminates the differences in the mind. So, the statement, the sun, where are we? The sun who distinguishes between the Prakriti and the Purusha. Prakriti is changing, Purusha is unchanging, it is the constant one. Or it is the embodied, you can put it that way also. Which are mixed like day and night. And this is our experience. Which one? Where is your consciousness and where is your body? Oh, this is my body. Where is consciousness? Arey yaar, I can feel pain there. It means you are conscious also. So where is consciousness? Can you separate the consciousness from the body at this moment? So we see, just as day and night are also mixed together, they coexist, Purusha Prakriti also coexist, and that principle of coexistence in Shiva Sutras is given as Ardhanarishwar. We have done the Ardhanarishwar Stotram, na? Ardhanarishwar. They are inseparable. Krishna, Radha, Shiva, Shakti, Ram, Sita, they are inseparable. And therefore, that inseparability we have borrowed and we remain confused that I think I am the body. But Hare Baba, there is another part to you, which is the Purusha principle. Why don't you ever give any attention to that Purusha principle also? If you want to accept, you should accept yourself as a mixture of Purusha and Prakriti, where you clearly know this is the Purusha and this is the Prakriti. There is no grey line. But because of our grossness in our thinking, because of our identification, because of our impurity, because of the corruption of tamas and rajas, we are unable to see them as they are. And therefore, our experience is, I am a mixture of both. I am conscious also and I am inert also, isn't it? This is our experience. So this is what is being told here, that it is in this sign, which are mixed like day and night, in this science is measured the infinite mass of ignorance in terms of 24 principles which conduce to the uninterrupted enjoyment of higher self. So now they are going to tell about the 24. Jnaneshwar Maharaj is going to tell you about 24 principles by which the infinite self alone is expressing as this. Remember, infinite reality with thoughts alone is mind, isn't it? So, in reality, in Vedanta, everything is one. That one alone is becoming the many and enjoying itself. If you are one and you are becoming father, husband and son, then you should enjoy your expressions. But what happens? We become miserable due to our expressions because we forget that we are the man originally. You understand? So, Paramatma, the reality, he doesn't forget. He doesn't forget. He himself has become the 24 for his own and enjoying himself. Now take the whole life. If you want to take it, this is not given here, I'm just expanding. Now you take the whole life, just as everything in the dream is an expression of your mind alone, a projection of your mind alone, then this waking also is a projection of your mind alone. Then take it as a blissful experience. For it to be a blissful experience, you have to be bliss incarnate first. If you remain anger incarnate, you will see anger everywhere. Because everything will be an expression of anger. If you are jealous, then everything will be expression of jealousy. If you are competitive, everything you will see as competition to you. If you are comparative, everything you will see as comparison to you. To everyone is comparing to you. But if you recognize yourself to be the bliss incarnate, then everything that is expressing is also the bliss. As simple as that. It's that simple. So here he says that, where are we? In this science, measured the infinite mass of ignorance in terms of 24 principles, which conduces to the uninterrupted enjoyment of the infinite self. Now remember, when we talk about Ishvara and Maya, or we talk about in Amrita Anubhav, in Kashmiri Shaivism, we talked about Shiva and Shakti. Shiva did not become many. Prakriti, the Shakti, the Maya, the ignorance, she goes and multiplies. First she becomes 3, then she becomes 4, then she becomes 5, then she becomes 6, then she becomes 7, she reaches all the way up to 24. But is Shakti separate from the Shiva principle? No. Is Radha, Maya separate from the Ishvara or Krishna? No. She is part and parcel. She is his potentiality. Because she is potentiality, Krishna has not become many. His potentiality. And how his potentiality expresses? Everything that you see, hear, touch, feel, everything that is changing is potentiality. Everything that is changing is potentiality. Then who is the Purusha principle? Who is the Shiva principle? Who is the Krishna principle? Who is the Brahma principle? The unchanging one. So always the potentiality changes. The wielder of potentiality does not change. Man does not change. Then who changes? The husband gives up the role and becomes the father. Father gives up the role and becomes the son. The son gives up the role and becomes the friend. The friend gives up the role and becomes the seer. The seer gives up the role and becomes the hearer. Hearer gives up the role, becomes the experiencer or the knower or the doer or the experiencer. So who are all these who are changing? They are ghosts. Is the man changing? No, man is the same. Man is the same. Exactly the same way. The Purusha principle is ever the same. Prakriti expresses as the 24 principles. And why does the Purusha wield his potentiality, wield his Shakti? For his own enjoyment, because they are playing with each other. We saw that in the Shiva Shakti Samavesh. They are playing with each other. It's a sport, it's a leela. It's not something serious. How we take our life to be? How do we take our life? Serious. We take our life to be for survival. We take our life, I have to perform my duties. And we get lost because we have taken the role of a father, we have taken the role of a mother, we have taken the role of a husband or a wife. And who are these? They are existing in their own absence. And what is the original? Man and woman. Man and woman are never miserable. Only father is miserable, or husband is miserable, or wife is miserable. So how do we go through this? That we'll tell later. But now, why I've told all this is to show that these 24 principles that are going to be enumerated, if they do, they are expressions of the, here he says, ignorance, of Agyan. Now, don't forget, Agyan / Maya / Prakriti all mean they are similar. And what is the nature of the Maya or Prakriti or mind or ignorance? Manifestation, unmanifestation. That is the nature of the Maya. That is the nature of the ignorance. How do you know it, sir? Right? Waking dream manifestation, deep sleep unmanifestation. Deep sleep I am totally ignorant, and I think I am not ignorant when I am waking and dreaming, but actually I am ignorant. Making me myself believe that I am intelligent. Double hypnosis. So, where is the time? Oh. The characteristics of the different gunas extolled by the Sankhya system are as follows. What are they? These three gunas have, with their strength, brought all the perceptible things under their sway and stamped them in three ways. So, remember, we are not talking about that Parabrahma Paramatma, the Parama Shiva, the infinite reality. That does not come under the purview of ignorance. It does not come under the purview of ignorance. Man at any given moment, in spite of husband being very miserable, man is never miserable. Understand?
Yes.
All the roles are changing. Man is never changing. He cannot change. He will remain the same. Exactly the same way. Where are all the changes? Only in the Shakti, only in the Maya, only in the ignorance. So here he is saying that so what is your experience of all changes? Your changes are waking, dream, deep sleep and Samadhi cover the entire gamut of experience, right? Every object, which also includes space, time, objectivity, within these three, isn't it? The lower worlds, the higher worlds, the past, the future, everything is covered in this waking, dream, deep sleep and Samadhi. Everything, all these three are expressions of the three gunas. So everything in this creation, microscopically or macroscopically, is pervaded by these three gunas. Without these three gunas, whatever is changing, whatever is finite, whatever is specific, whatever is individual or total, whatever you can experience, whatever you cannot experience, everything, any experience per se is pervaded by the three gunas. Nay, it is expression of the three gunas. Recognize this. Now keep taking it subjectively. So whatever changes are taking place, waking, dream, deep sleep are coming and going. The seer, hearer, toucher, feeler, taster, thinker, knower, listener, speaker is coming and going continuously. Don't take themselves to be you. Take a step outside them. This is the phenomena which is going on. This is the phenomena of the three gunas. Phenomena happens, manifestation begins with the expression of the three gunas. So here he says, these three gunas, namely Sattva, Rajas and Tamas, are so grand that they have distinguished all beings from God Brahma to insects into three types. So Brahma is total Rajas, Vishnu is total Sattva, Shiva is total Tamas. Naturally, if they are Sattva, Rajas, Tamas, then their wives are also Sattvic, Rajasic, Tamasic. Just as then that is totality level, come down to individuality. Waker is the Sattvic, dreamer is the Rajasic, deep sleeper is the Tamasic. Then if the waking world will be the Sattvic world, Rajasic will be the Rajasic world, and absence of the two will be the Tamasic, utter ignorance. Similarly, within you also. Now, this is, we are talking about total experience. Now, even though this right now, we are in the sattvic state, but within this sattvic, this camera is there, this phone is there, this book is there. What are they? Are they sattvic, rajasic, or tamasic?
Sattvic, Rajasic and Tamasic is all here.
It is pervading everything. It is pervading everything. It's not just here. It is, your idea is that there is in there. Everything is expression of this thing only. So what is this book? What is this scripture? Is it sattvic, rajasic, or tamasic? Are you scared to answer?
Sattvic, Swamiji.
Huh?
Sattvic.
Depends on the reader, doesn't it?
All the three, Swamiji.
Huh?
All the three.
All the three.
Oh,
All the three.
well,
The knowledge in it is sattvic, the material is tamasic. Understand? What is book? What is book made up of? Paper. Is that not inert? Is the word written on it not inert? Can it be rubbed off? Yes. Is it continuous, permanent? No. See? So when I am reading the book, I am reading, who is sattvic in this interaction? Or what is sattvic in this interaction? The knower or the reader is the sattvic aspect in this interaction. Rajasic will be the instruments of knowledge with which I am interacting with the book, and book will be the tamasic aspect in this particular interaction. Don't feel shy to say book. Scripture says you have to discard us. Why you are afraid? Yes, among all other books, Vedas, Puranas, scriptures, Bhagavad Gita, they are sattvic, no doubt, but in their category of books. But when it comes to I am reading the book, book is a tamasic, I am the sattvic. The consciousness is sattvic. Understand? When it comes to waking, dream, deep sleep state, then waking is the sattvic. You cannot say the dream is the sattvic or sleep is the sattvic because you are enjoying it. So within your body, what is sattvic and rajasic? So tamasic is the body, rajasic are the senses in this relation, and mind will be sattvic. But when you take senses, mind and intellect, then mind, the senses are tamasic, mind is rajasic, intellect is sattvic. When you take mind, intellect and the consciousness, then mind is tamasic. Intellect is rajasic and the consciousness is sattvic. So it's relative because there is nothing permanent in this world. So what he is telling here is understand that everything in this creation, and what is the creation? Waking, dream, deep sleep and samadhi. Everything that is, this I explained in by way of 4. If I explain it by way of 3, waking, dream and deep sleep. If I explain it in 2, known and unknown, Kenopanishad, is pervaded by the sattva, rajas and tamas. So micro and macro. When we talk about what is this world, it's an interaction between Jeev, Jagat and Ishvara. All these three, Jiva rajasic, Ishvara sattvic, Jagat tamasic. देखो हो गया ना? Develop this eye. Develop this eye. Take a step up outside all these roles which are happening by themselves. Stand apart. Look, have the eagle's view. How that one thread is spreading, the common denominator at the relative level, at the worldly level, the common denominator is this sattva, rajas, tamas. Once you know it is sattva, rajas, tamas, then you can choose the correct one which will help you to grow further. Huh? Like someone says, some people say, oh, we should not, I have to stop drinking and eating before I take the Lord's name. Stupid fool. Start taking the Lord's name. Start taking the Lord's name, automatically it will drop off. But what they want to first purify, and then with the purified state, they want to take the name of the Lord. So they have made the instruments which are the means into the purpose. The Lord's name will purify. You want to purify yourself. You will never be able to purify because you are so deeply entrenched into wrong thinking and lifestyle. How will you purify? No, God will do. By wishing it doesn't happen. You have to papad belne padte hain. So take the Lord's name and it will bring the result of purification. What we say, or many people, ignorant people say, we want to purify first and then we want to take up exactly the opposite. It should not be. And so here, but so from the macro to the micro, all the way to the amoeba, everything is pervaded by the three gunas. Continuing, where are we? 526th कहाँ गया? Here. परिविश्विंसी आघवी मांदी जेणे भेद लेनी गुण भेदी पडिली ते तव आदि ज्ञान सांगो जे दिठी जरी चोख कीजे तरी भलते ही चोख सुजे तैसे ज्ञाने शुद्धे लाहिजे सर्व ही शुद्ध म्हणवनी ते सात्विक ज्ञान आता सांगो ते अवधान कैवल्य गुण निधान श्री कृष्ण म्हणे. Jnaneshwar Maharaj is saying, but I shall first explain to you how this entire universe has fallen into the clutches of these three gunas. Now he is going to tell you the whole analysis of it. How the whole world has fallen into the clutches. How come it is influenced by the three gunas? For if the vision is clear, everything can be seen with clarity. So with the attainment of pure knowledge, it becomes easy to comprehend the essential nature of things. I shall therefore describe the sattvic knowledge. Please give your attention. So said Lord Krishna, who is essentially of the nature of liberation. So, as we told you before, when you know what is 1, what is 2, what is 3, what is 4, what is 5, what is 24, what is pervading Brahma, Vishnu, the macro, and what is pervading the individual and the lower creatures, what is at a relative level, what is the basis? Yes, Paramatma is one, but he is knowledge incarnate. But at the matter level, what is the substratum? What is the substratum? It is the ignorance. It is the prakriti. It is the maya. It is the inertness. And that inertness expresses as the manyness. And how does it pervade the manyness? By way of sattva, rajas, tamas. Sattva, rajas, tamas. So, when I place everything in this room in its right spot, then I can negotiate through this room with my closed eyes, isn't it? Same way, if I have, nowadays you get GPS, but if I was also 30 years ago, 20 years ago, how you used to go to a place which we don't know? We used to take the Melway, we used to write the page number. If we don't have that, while driving we can't check, so we used to write third left, fourth right, second left, second exit from the turnaround, then first left, then second round, and you reach. So you have created a mind map within yourself, because you write it down, it registers. These kids, even to come from their house to my house, again they need a GPS nowadays, and they come so many times. No memory. So once you are clear of the path that you have to take, what roads you have to negotiate through, which turn you have to take, because you have placed, and you know where each thing is placed, where each road is placed, you will reach your destination without any anxiety, because you know where each road is, where each turn is. Same way, if you know where every aspect of your experience of life or creation, what is the placement of each one of them? Call it God, call it Ishvara, call it Parabrahma, Paramatma, call it the seven lokas, call it the mind, call it the intellect, call it the senses, call it the body, call it the breath, call it the objects of the world. If you know their proper placement, then you will never get confused. Then you will very easily, you will catch yourself at a split second moment, you will catch, hey, I'm unnecessarily going down the drain, let me catch myself. And we do it by default many times, but we want to be conscious of it all the time, again and again and again and again and again and again, till we don't need to remember that. Isn't it? But for that, it is necessary to know. People talk about, I must eat sattvic food, then realization is, well, who cares? You think Buddhists are, they eat only sattvic food or what? They eat dried yak meat. They still get realized. Oh really, I can eat meat then, I got a freedom. The moment you make a choice, you have lost the plot. Dekho? See? You go to Aboriginal elders, they are also similar. So, in what context everything is, what is the placement of each thing, and that will be now explained. And now he is going to tell us, what is he going to tell us in the next verse? Let's read the next verse and conclude. 10 minutes. Okay. In the 20th verse. Excuse me. 20th verse. Sarvabhuteshu yenaikam bhavam avyayamikshate avibhaktam vibhakteshu tadjnanam viddhi sattvikam. Together. Sarvabhuteshu yenaikam bhavam avyayamikshate avibhaktam vibhakteshu tadjnanam viddhi sattvikam. He says, that by which one perceives in all beings a single, immutable substance, indivisible. Though seemingly divided, know that knowledge arises from sattva. So what is sattva? Sattva is not. If you are here, we are talking about knowledge. So what is sattvic knowledge? Sattvic knowledge is not knowledge on the paper. Sattvic knowledge is not knowledge in the books. Sattvic knowledge is not the knowledge which we are listening. And what is sattvic knowledge? Sattvic knowledge is that knowledge which delivers you at the threshold of the self, which reminds you of the reality. When I am seeing you, it should remind me of the reality. When I look at myself in the camera, it should remind me of the reality. When I am talking, it should remind me with every stimuli. Have I trained myself that my mind, we are talking about right knowledge, na? Sattvic knowledge is right knowledge. So what is right knowledge? Is it outside us? Is it close to us in the form of books? Is it close to us which we are hearing? Or is it that which is inherent within the mind and it is taking us, reminding us incessantly again and again and again and again and again? About what? About that I am the infinite one. I am the conscious one. Because who you want to reformat? Whom you want to reform? Is the self needing reformation? No, the mind needs reformatting. Mind has got corrupted, mind needs to be educated, isn't it? So what is that sattvic knowledge? Sattvic knowledge is where every thought, remember the general knowledge, at one level the mind will continuously thinking of whatever. Seeing, hearing, touching, feeling, tasting, you are playing your roles of husband, wife, child, mother, daughter, everything. But there is that jnata, jneya and jnanam. We are talking about that jnanam. We are not talking about jnata. We are talking about jnanam. Is that general knowledge of the mind, that which is pervading all the triputis, which knows that the waker, dreamer, sleeper came and went, isn't it? Is the mind reminding, thinking, contemplating of that infinite one, the unchanging one, the constant one? That will be, we are talking about knowledge. Knowledge is that which comes and goes. And if we are talking about thought knowledge will be that knowledge which reminds you of the self, the parignyata. And that knowledge which reminds you again and again as to who am I? I am that. This is the topic of 4th and 5th lecture of 15th chapter. So, if my mind is reminding me to come to Upanishads, is it sattvic? No, it is rajasic. If the mind is taking me to statues in the temple, if it is taking me to the altar in the house, it is taking me to all the other paraphernalia. I need nice fragrance in the house. Every day today I will put sandalwood, tomorrow I will put something, whatever. So that is tamasic. If you are focused on form, you are focused on statue, you are focused on that, and you are waiting, I want to know the self. By looking at the stone, you will come to know the self. It is possible, no doubt it is possible. Many people have had the experience of the Lord by looking at the statue. But hard work, man. Hard work. How much time it will take? I don't know. How much time will it take? Okay, I will not. I understand that is tamasic, that is solid, that is inert. I'll come to the scriptures where it gives me the knowledge, and I get addicted to scriptures. I want to do chanting. I want to do the mantras. I want to listen to satsang. You must do that, no doubt. But what is this knowledge? Is this sattvic? Yes, compared to that it is sattvic, but our idea of sattvic is scriptures are sattvic. Among all other books, yes, scriptures are sattvic. But with respect to the total scheme, What is the interaction with the scriptures? Here your senses are going out, information is coming in, coming and going, rajasic. So much data, so much words, so many ideas are presented. Same thing in so many different ways. Why? Because they are trying to explain to you which you already are, you stupid. And they are inert. Inert is trying to teach the conscious one who he is. This is the problem. So it is Rajasic. What is Sattvic? Where your mind remembers with every stimuli, it remembers that it is the self. It does not become the doer, it does not become the seer, it does not become. He allows those triad experiences will keep taking place, but no person will be born, because mind is remembering that the self is the constant one. If this interaction that is going on of speaking and listening, if we are true to it, if we understood what we just said, then while listening, which we have repeated so many times, who is the one because of whom listening is taking place? If the mind's attention is on that, it is Sattvic Jnana. Who is that who knows in whose presence, who himself is expressing as, or whose potentiality or whose energy is expressing as these words, and who knows that this is happening while speaking itself, because speaking is taking place. Just as the self does not become the waker, dreamer, sleeper because it is knowing the three are coming and going every day. Similarly, words are coming and going continuously. Then, have I taken the place? What is that? Kene Shitam, Kenopanishad, Kene Shitam. Who is the inspirer behind? In whose presence these words are able to express themselves? Then, when my attention, mind has the attention, only intellect can give the attention. So, is your attention on that? With every word, with every breath, with every interaction, with every stimuli, with every experience, with every contact, there you are. जागो मोहन प्यारे, सब मेडिटेशन में चले गए क्या? See how this is Sattvic Gyan. Sattvic Gyan is not Ghanti Bajao. Ghanti Bajao means ringing bells. Sattvic Gyan is not chanting and Purnamada Purnamidam, Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu. No. Sattvic Gyan is when the mind reminds you of the self with every stimuli. And every moment something is going. Either you are seeing, hearing, touching, feeling, tasting, experiencing, knowing, waking, dreaming, sleeping. Something is going on all the time. Because Prakriti cannot stay still. It's changing. But question is, when your mind reminds, do you become or do you remain? Hallelujah. This is Sattvic Gyan. So, na railway line, electric poles, Janeu, sannyasi clothes, or saffron clothes when you do puja, all that is what you call, all that is, we must maintain that hygiene, etiquette, all those habits, we must, but we must not get lost, all that must remind us of who we essentially are, without whom all these hand cannot move. Remember Keneshitam, the ear of the ear, the eye of the eye, the mind of the mind, the pranas of the prana. The student asked, inspired by whom all these function? This was the answer. Oh, why don't you answer straight? He says, you are asking that which cannot be talked of, and I am speaking of that which cannot, which you cannot understand. Story over. He says, I am speaking the way I am speaking. It's your problem, you understand it or not. Straight away in the third verse, the teacher hands over all responsibility to the student. He says, it's not my job to make you understand. You asked a question, I answered. Now you find out what how to understand it. I made it clear. It's the eye of the eye, ear of the ear. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Sit few more moments.